All right, welcome back, guys. I am going to make something that I need in the shop, and I've been needing it, and I don't really want to spend money to go buy one. So I'm gonna make myself a router table. Now I'm in a small shop. As some of you know, this small shop is nothing but a bedroom in our house. It's a small bedroom. So I don't have a lot of room for a big giant router table. So I'm going to make something that I'm kind of calling a storable router table top thing. I don't know. I've got a big sheet of plywood, a full sheet. I'm going to cut a piece down and throw it on the CNC. And, well, enough explaining. Just watch and check it out. So let me get outside and cut that up real quick and then get it inside, and I'll show you what I'm doing inside. Alright guys, it's all cut up. Got it clamped down to the xcarve, and I am going to run over to the office? Yeah, we'll call it the office. And design out a quick design for what I'm going to do. That way when I'm done I can come over, plug it in, hit carve, and carve this awesome tabletop storable router tabletop thing. Let's go design. Alright, so I'm in my office, like I said. Got my laptop here. Nice cup of coffee with some Hershey's chocolate in it, and it's delicious. Alright, so let's get designing.
So we'll open up a new project file in Easel. Go ahead and put in the dimensions of the piece of plywood that we cut. And I know that it's 3/4 of an inch. And we'll get this all put in. Now that we've got that all set up, the easiest thing that we're going to do for this project is making our tabletop. It's as simple as clicking the square, changing the size of the square, which is over here. We're going to make it right here, about this big. I'm going to do basically 18 by 24, and I want to give it a 1/2 inch round corners, just to give it kind of a nice feel. So as you can see there, the corners are nice and round. I'm going to go ahead and cut on the outside so I do get the full 18 by 24. And that's the actual tabletop. Go ahead and send it to material. Now the reason I send it to material is when I make this next one, I can also go in and do the same thing. It's under edit, not file though, and send it to material. So now when I go over here to the shape, if I click on this dot right here in the center, when I go to type in my measurements, it goes out from the center instead of being from one side or the other. So now that that's actually centered to the other inside square, it is ready to go. And I want to make it a little bit more sturdy, so I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller and make this one a little smaller. There we go, that looks perfect. So I'm going to cut the inside shape of this one, I think, and go ahead and click there. Now we're going to highlight everything because I want both of these pieces to cut all the way through. And now that's going to cut me out a nice frame. I'm going to go ahead and adjust where it's at though. I'm going to put it down in the corner so that I have a little bit better option as far as having leftover material. So I'm going to go ahead and change, let's see, the tabs, but I'm not really worried about the tabs right now. I can either turn them on or turn them off. Those tabs will keep the material down once it's all cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and select the whole thing, both pieces. I'm going to change to this dot and make it 1 inch is where it starts from the 0, and 1 inch where it starts from the 0 on the X and the Y. So that one's ready. That's my frame. That's what I'm going to use. Now that I'm over here though, I'm going to go ahead and also do I'm going to duplicate this because I have a piece of MDF top that is a 1/4 inch thick that I'm going to make a second project for, and I'm going to go ahead and just do that while we're already designing. So now that I'm in the second workspace, I can delete this inside part because I'm not going to cut this frame out. I'm going to actually cut just a circle out. So we'll go over here, select circle, and you know what? Let's go ahead and I'm going to make the size a little bit better. Let's see. Forget what I am doing. Okay, you know what? Let's center this to material first so we can put the circle straight in the center of our workpiece. So since that's in the center, now we can come back, click just the circle, and also center this to the material, and it's going to put it in the center of both pieces, just like that. Exactly what we need. So now we can take and change the size of the circle. I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller than this. I'm going to do 1.5 inches. Clicking that lock on the next to the numbers there, it locks it so that if I change one size, it will change both sizes, meaning the X and the Y. So we can go ahead and select this, change that back, put it back to 1 inch on the X and 1 inch on the Y, and that makes it to where I have, like I said, less waste, and I can have some leftover material to work with.
Okay, design process is done. It's just design process. Basically, all I did was make a couple rectangles and a circle. That was it. Super simple. Now, if you've watched my last video, which if you haven't, you should really go back and check it out, because I discovered something in my last video that is kind of interesting, and I'm going to show you guys just a quick, very fast recap, but I'm also going to show you now how we set it up. I know we've set up other stuff in Easel before and on the xcarve before, but I'm going to show you this one because, well,
it's just so in the last video, we discovered do not have it at this line if you want a true 0-0 working with any bits. Now I use a V-bit here to find the exact corner, the exact 0-0 of the material. And what we can do now is raise that bit up, put our white side 1/4 inch bit in, and get this thing cut out. So let's get to it. Since we didn't move the X or the Y, and we just moved the Z axis up to get the 1/4 inch bit in, we can now, since it's in, lower it down to 0 the Z axis. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so piece of paper has some drag through it. You can actually feel that the bit is touching the paper as well as the top of our material. So we're ready to carve. Let's do it. So that's going to get loud. Alright, now we're in focus. Alright, first piece is done.
So I'm going to pull that off of there and throw the piece of MDF that I have, or hardboard, or you can use whiteboard material. A bunch of different stuff you can use. I'm going to throw that one up on the CNC next and cut that piece. So here we go. Alright, so got a nice sturdy frame here. And we got the top with the hole cut in it. And the two are a perfect fit on top of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this top down to the frame so that when I hang it off of a workbench or a surface, that frame's going to be nice and sturdy. It's going to hold stuff flat. And once I get it glued on there, then I can use the base of my router as a template to put those screws in to hold the router to our table. So let's get started on that. Alright, now that I got the top glued on, I added a couple screws in there, which I'm going to take out after the glue's all dried and set up, and put better screws in it, just to kind of help keep it down, because my clamps are pretty decent little clamps, but I wanted to really make sure that it got a good compression on that top. So the next bit is to take the plastic little ring of my router, and I'm going to set it on top of here and center it. To the hole, and then I can mark out these holes here so that I can get screws in there to clamp the router to the top itself. Bonk. Alright guys, all finished. So I went ahead and drilled the holes. I countersunk the bit, or the screw holes that actually hold the router itself to the top of the table. And it's all finished. So let me show you guys how it looks and how it works. And I'm pretty excited to use this thing actually. So check this thing out. And there it is, guys, all finished up. Now when I need to use this, I'll add another clamp to this side, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick how it's going to work. The 4 screws here are countersunk screws. So when we do run material over this, they're not going to get caught up on those screws. Everything is fairly easy to reach right under here to adjust the height. The switch is over here on the side. Easy to turn on. And when I'm done, I can always take these 4 screws out and take just this piece of board, take the clamps off, and I can find a place down in there that I can store it. So now while this is actually functional and ready to use if I needed to use it right now, I do have some more plans for it. I am gonna go ahead and seal the MDF, as well as put like probably a gloss coat on it so stuff slides a little easier on it. Stuff is able to move, materials able to move on it. And I do plan on eventually putting maybe some T-tracks in there to set up a fence. But for now, it's exactly what I need it to do. It's set up, ready to go, ready for what I need it to do, which is roundovers on guitar bodies. Getting that nice, smooth, consistent, rounded edge on a guitar body. Once I put a roundover bit in that router, that thing is going to be perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe even half as much as I did building it. It was super simple, super straightforward. And like I said, I am excited to actually use this thing. So watch for those videos, because there's going to be a bunch of videos of me actually using this router table top storable board thing. I still don't know what to call it. What would you guys call it? Leave me a comment down below. And in the meantime, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure that you come around for the next one by clicking that bell notification so you know when the next one actually is. And until then, keep building, keep having fun, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.